A person who has always been in complete control of how everything works, acknowledging that this is sort of out of his hands. Adam Schefter, what can you tell us is the latest as far as Aaron Rodgers is concerned, I guess, both football and Jeopardy?
I thought that was really telling and really interesting, Greeny. And he answered the question in a non-answer kind of way, and then Kenny Mayne went back to him and gave him the chance to say, yeah, I'm going to finish as a Packer, and he never did. And again, you can read into what you want. The fact of the matter is the Packers went out last year and traded up in the draft to go draft a quarterback. When you do that, you're sending a message, and they sent a message to Aaron Rodgers about his future in Green Bay. Again, we said then, we'll say now. It's on the clock. He's on the clock. You don't know how it plays out, but clearly there are issues between the two sides, so much so that Green Bay management has had to address them during the offseason. And in recent weeks, they've had to go to Aaron Rodgers to address them. So clearly he's got questions about whether he can finish there. And I think a coach like Matt LaFleur would love to have Aaron Rodgers and doesn't want anything to happen. But I think that there are so many things that have happened. And look, we see it over time. Tom Brady didn't finish in New England. Aaron Rodgers has been there 16 years. Is he going to finish in Green Bay? I would say, to answer Kenny Mayne's question, the chances are no.
Well, put it in the form of an answer, because he's hosting Jeopardy this week. Who is one of the great quarterbacks of all time who is unlikely to finish his career in Green Bay right now? Someone ring in and say Aaron Rodgers. Dan Orlovsky, what do you think of this?
Well, I love the fact that Schefter just brought up Tom Brady, because both of these guys are athletes motivated by spite. Right? And so Aaron knows what has transpired. And the reality is that Green Bay has brought this issue upon themselves with last year's draft. And so now you've got to I'm going to know the first night of the draft what the Green Bay Packers' long-term view with Aaron Rodgers is. Because in that Thursday night of round one of the NFL draft, if they don't move up to get a receiver or they don't move up to get an impactful front seven player on their defense, then I think that Aaron Rodgers will be playing his last year in Green Bay. But if they do go get somebody that can help them go win the Super Bowl now, but also be a part of the future with Aaron, then I look at it and say, okay, maybe Green Bay is coming to their senses. We will know round one of the NFL draft.
Why do you look skeptical to me, Domonique?
I mean, because they already did the thing. They drafted a quarterback last year. There's nothing they can do this year to make up for that. Yeah. I mean, they can't make it any worse unless they decide they want to draft another quarterback in the first round, which is going to be really outrageous. But you already drafted a quarterback. I don't understand. I understand Dan's point is if they get a receiver, if they get someone who could be impactful now, but who else could you get? There is no bad pick at this point. They need some help on defense. I mean, you could debate whether they need a receiver as much as some people think they do, but I don't know. Short of drafting another quarterback, they can't mess this up because they've already messed it up. They've already sent the message at the beginning.
I just think, Dom, last year they took two backups that were part of the developmental aspect of their future, right? And so I have been steadfast this offseason, Green Bay, take something from the future, a draft pick from the future, and go get somebody that you sit there and go, this is directly tied to us trying to go win one with Aaron over the next maybe 2 or 3 years, not a backup tailback that you're going to develop or a quarterback that you're going to go develop. And that's why I think we will know round one. We will, because actions speak louder than words. And we've seen the lack of the draft pick, the lack of the restructuring of the contract to free open space. And I think that Schefter's point with Tom Brady is a big deal. Here's the worst thing that could happen to the Packers. Aaron Rodgers goes out and throws for another 48 touchdowns and has an MVP type of season. Then what do? Are they really going to pass on Aaron Rodgers after back-to-back seasons of throwing almost 100 touchdowns? That would be the most fascinating part of this situation.
Go ahead, Schefter.
Well, again, I think we've heard from Aaron Rodgers now twice since their season ended. And the first time came after the season ended in that loss to Tampa Bay. And he came out, and that started all this conversation about his future and what would happen, because he certainly seemed to be taking a passive-aggressive approach to finishing his career in Green Bay and being there long term. And then you heard him there with Kenny Mayne over the weekend. And it didn't sound to me like anything had changed. It sounded like the same issues that were there in January still are there. The same questions that were there in January still are there. And the same doubts about him being in Green Bay long term that were there then still are there now.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.